What's going on, YouTube? How y'all doing today? Hey, I'm back on my conservative channel. I have two channels actually. I have a channel to where I'm called Walter the Trucker, which I talk about truck driving, and because I am a truck driver, and I also have this channel, which is fairly new, created it not too long ago. Only have couple, I think, of subscribers, a few views on one video that I have on this channel. But I'm gonna start putting content on this channel because I think that this channel is more important than my other channel, and this channel is the one that I think is gonna cause greater change in society. What I want to talk about today, and I'm not going to be very long, try to keep it under 10 minutes, but I always go longer on my videos, so bear with me. But I want to talk about today, why do Democrats and the left push the racism issue so hard? Why is it that that's the number? I would take that back. It's two issues that they push more than anything else. They push these two harder than anything else. Three, actually. I'm sorry, three things. One, homosexuality. Two, transgender. Three, racism. Those three things right there, that's the Democratic Party now. And why do they focus so much on pushing those three agendas, as well as why do they focus more recently on this racism narrative? And I'm a black man, you know what I'm saying? I've seen racism, I've dealt with it. Racism is in America, unfortunately, but to the extent that the left is pushing that racism is the downfall of people of color in today's society, is just not true. But why do they do that? Well, there's a reason why they're pushing that narrative so hard right now. And of course, it all ties in Donald Trump. It all ties in with the left's hate of Donald Trump, the media's hate of Donald Trump. And they know that a lot of things, now let me say this, a lot of things that Trump say, some of the things he's said, I'm not 100% a fan of everything that he's said. I think that he's said a lot of things that kind of puts his foot in his mouth a lot when he doesn't have to, because his policies and the results speak for itself. But a lot of the extra things that he says, he doesn't necessarily have to say it sometimes, but he say it, and it just creates a whole firestorm. And then you have the media who already hates him, and then the left who hates him, and then they take it and run with it. And after they're done twisting it all around, it's just something what it wasn't even supposed to be. So I'm not in agreement with everything that he says, but I am in agreement with his policies and the results that he's gotten for people of color and for minorities. And the Democrats who are running for the presidential nomination in 2020, they don't have anything to run on. They can't run on the economy. They can't run on lower taxes. Taxes are lower. People are getting less money taken out of their paychecks, which is the reason why you're not getting back that fat refund that you thought that you was going to get back, but you're paying less throughout the year, which, hey, I would rather have more money in my paycheck throughout the year than getting a check, one paycheck at the end of the year for a certain amount of dollars. I would much rather free up that money during the year when I need it, when I need that money for my bills and expenses. I would rather have that money in hand immediately rather than waiting until it's tax season to get it. But that can easily be solved if you go in and change your withholding. If you're still withholding at the same rate that you were withholding prior to the tax reform, then of course you're going to keep having, each year, as far as the new tax law goes, it's going to diminish your tax return due to the fact of you have to go in and change your withholding to reflect your current standing with the new tax law. So, not getting into all of that, but they can't run on taxes. They can't run on. They really can't. They don't have credibility to run on healthcare because they're pushing healthcare, Medicare for all. But wasn't the healthcare situation supposed to be solved with Obamacare? Wasn't healthcare supposed to be the high cost, the rising cost? Wasn't all of that supposed to be taken care of through Obamacare? Weren't you supposed to be able to keep your existing doctor with Obamacare? But it was a lie. It was nothing. It was not about insuring Americans. It was all about a political agenda so that President Obama can have a notch in his belt to say that he did something. But why are they pushing healthcare so much now, and Medicare for all? Why are they pushing that so hard right now? It all ties in to control. It all ties into control because Medicare for all, you're gonna do away with the private sector. You pretty much have to. And you have to create a system to where the government is the one that is primarily responsible for your medical care, meaning you have to depend 100% on the government for your health care. And that's socialism. You're going to have to depend on them when you get sick, when you need to go get a preventive service done. You're going to have to depend on the government to provide that. And the government sucks at their job. They suck at everything they do. They suck. So you should not be dependent on the government for your health care. Now, why something that's affecting me, that's going to affect me, and that's why I'm going to start pushing and really getting out there, trying to get the word out that you got to reject the socialist Democrats. They have lost their mind, all of them. All Democrats, they've all completely lost their mind. And I used to be a Democrat because, if you're a black man or a black person, you know that you don't have it's one of the most racist things that I think exists, that a particular color, you're obligated to vote for one party, and you're obligated to do and to abide by that party's rules. Whatever they stand for, as a person of color, a black person, you've got to stand for it. No more. Those days are over with. And so one thing that's going to impact me, as you can see, I'm in a truck. I'm a truck driver. And I've been driving trucks for 3 years now, and I actually love what I do. Not a lot of money in it, but I love what I do. Now, with that Green New Deal, or AKA the Green New Mess, the Green New word, I'm a minister as well, so I'm not going to say it. But Green New Deal, 100% disposal, or getting rid of all fossil fuels within the next 10 to 12 years, doing away with all fossil fuels. Now, do you know how many jobs, do you know how many truck drivers there are on the roads? There are millions and millions and millions of truck drivers on the road right now. And you're talking about, you're going to put millions and millions of hard-working Americans out of work. Not only are you going to put them out of work, but you really have to think about what you're doing. When you say that you're going to do away with the use of all fossil fuels to deal with so-called climate change, and let me just say this about climate change. I'm not a climate change denier. I know that what we do and how we live our lives, the industries that we have, everything has an impact on our environment. And yes, we do need to take steps to monitor what we are doing as far as our environment goes. And as that relates to climate change, I'm not a climate expert, so I'm not going to really get into details like what some politicians try to do. But I believe that when the world is going to end, it doesn't matter how clean the air is. God is going to destroy the world whenever he gets ready to. So it doesn't really matter what it is or where it stands. A lot of people says that's not a valid argument, but that's my faith. That's what I believe in everything. But I do believe we do need to try to be careful in what we do in the environment. But I'm not for causing people to lose everything that they have to push this false narrative of climate change. And so you're going to do away with all of these fossil fuels. You're going to do away with thousands of transportation jobs that move the country. Now let's understand this. Truck driving, you actually move America. Without trucks, I know you guys hate to see us out on the roads. You blow at us. You get mad when we cause traffic accidents when actually someone else calls it when we run into them. But that's another story. But when you say that you're going to do away with fossil fuels, which is going to translate over to the transportation industry, nothing in America moves without a truck. Everything that you look around and see, everything pertains and was on a truck at some point. So that truck that you're trying to get rid of, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, what you're trying to do is take those trucks off the road, and you're taking food off of the shelves. When you do that, you're getting rid of gasoline that's delivered on tankers to gas stations. So now you're going to experience farmers, food growers who can't get their product to customers and to stores. You're gonna get rid of gasoline anyways. So now we're not gonna have stores that's gonna stock up fuel, service stations that's gonna stock up fuel. And not only that, but all equipment, all medicine, all tools that's used in hospitals are on a truck. They come to the hospital on a truck. So the hospitals are not going to be able to get life-saving equipment that they need in order to move, in order to treat patients and conduct their business. Not only that, but 65% of the military, well, not 65, that number changed, so I'm not going to quote a number on that, but a large number of military equipment is moved through not military transportation, but through private carriers. So a lot of equipment and a lot of supplies and materials that help support our military is transported on trucks. And so you're talking about getting rid of a whole entire industry that moves the country. And basically when you do that, you're going to cripple, not only you're going to eliminate fossil fuels, but you're going to deteriorate our healthcare system, our military, our food supply, our water supply. Everything you're going to do, you're going to destroy it with this so-called Green Deal that is supposed to clean up our environment and cause us to have to depend on the government to provide subsidies so that we can survive month to month, and that we may depend on the government to actually provide a alternative fact of transportation for us to get around with no fossil fuels. And now you can't even properly run a public bus line properly. You can't even do that. So why should we be able to believe that you're going to be able to come in, swoop in, take away all the cars, all the trucks, and provide us with something that you haven't been able to do in 100+ years, which is just operated a bus line? Doesn't make sense. But another thing, the government and the Democrats and the left are pushing racism. Racism like I said at the beginning, it's here in America, but it's not to the extent that people are pushing it. Look, I'm all for standing up for change. When I see it, I speak out against it. When it bothers me, when it bothers somebody else and it's valid, I speak out against it. I call it out. But we should not be calling everything racist. We should not be saying that the reason why we can't get ahead in society is because Donald Trump is racist, Republicans are racist, everybody who support Donald Trump is racist. It's just not true. It's a lie, it's deception, and it's equally racist. And so we have to be able to, as people of color, we have to be able to look past the marketing tool of the Democratic Party, which is let's go into the black churches, let's go on the black campuses, and let's push these narratives because we don't have anything else to run on. Because wow, they're getting the unemployment rate darn near non-existent now. The employment rate is through the roof with African Americans. So what do we have that we can run on? Well, we just call everybody racist, and that'll get black people going. That'll get them motivated to vote against the Republicans and vote against Donald Trump. And so I think it's a false narrative that we have to deal with. I'm going to go ahead and cut this video off because I have to get in my door right now to get unloaded. But I'll make another part 2 to this video and everything. And I hope that this starts the conversation and starts moving black people, minorities, away from the Democratic Party, away from the left. They don't love us. They don't care about us. It's all about power, and it's all about using us to get to where they need to go. They don't care about our schools. They don't care about our health care. They don't care about our family. They don't care about our faith. They just want votes so that they can push their socialist agenda. And that's the very first people that it's going to destroy is us black people. So they're pushing an agenda that's going to destroy us first. So we're going to speak out against it. I'm going to get back with you guys on part 2 to this video. Please like and subscribe. Let people know Walter the Trucker is going to be on the air here soon. Keep an eye out for it. I love you guys. Stay safe out there. Be blessed. Peace.